faithfully delivering value and interpreting the world's finest books. Hello, this is Sally's Book Talk. Today, I'll interpret the book Embodied Cognition for you. The subtitle is How the Body Affects Thinking and Behavior. In daily life, people often say, when energy is low, just get pumped up. For instance, before a battle, troops often hold mobilization rallies to boost soldiers' morale. In sports arenas, cheerleaders are essential for encouragement, as if mental drive alone can enhance physical performance. So, could physical changes affect our psychology? This book we're covering today will show you how the body influences thinking and actions. The author, Sean Baylock, is a psychology professor at the University of Chicago and a leading expert in human performance neuroscience. His primary research focuses on embodied cognition, specifically how the body affects the mind, a growing field in psychology. It examines how physiological factors impact psychological states. For instance, when people are happy, they smile. When unhappy, smiling, even if fake, can make you feel better. Okay, now I'll cover the book's content in two parts. First, how the body influences emotions, thoughts, and social interactions. Second, how to alter mental well-being through the body. Okay, let's begin with the first question. How the body affects emotions, thoughts, and social interactions. First, let's discuss the body's impact on emotions. Typically, emotions are shown through facial expressions and body language. For instance, we smile when happy and cry when sad. Some flush with anger, others fidget nervously. These are outward signs of emotions. But conversely, your facial expressions and posture can influence your emotions. For instance, the book mentions Laura, a bright and driven 22-year-old who recently graduated from an Ivy League school and joined a top PR firm in Manhattan. Sadly, Laura's boyfriend of many years died in a car crash, leaving her devastated and unable to overcome her grief. But later on, she developed severe depression, and unexpectedly, it was botulinum toxin therapy that saved her. What is botulinum toxin? It's used to eliminate wrinkles. After receiving botulinum toxin treatment for 2 months, Laura's depression completely disappeared. This is because botulinum toxin removed her frown lines, preventing her from making sad or angry expressions for several weeks. This diluted the negative emotional experiences in her brain. This sounds unbelievable, huh? However, Laura isn't an isolated case. Recently, a study in Germany and Switzerland gave one group of depression patients botulinum toxin injections and another group a common sedative. Ultimately, patients with botulinum toxin had an average 47% reduction in depressive symptoms, whereas the group injected only with sedative did not show significant symptom relief. This further confirms the effectiveness of botulinum toxin in alleviating depression. So, why can physical changes affect emotions? This is because when people think of anything bad, the brain replays feelings from similar past situations. These reactions occur not only in the brain, but also manifest in facial expressions and body posture. At the same time, facial expressions and body posture send signals to the brain, informing it of current feelings, which further deepens this mental state. However, if the body doesn't provide corresponding feedback, this emotional processing is hindered. An important part of interpreting emotional information disappears. Just as botulinum toxin prevents depression patients from making sad and distressed expressions, their brains cannot fully receive emotional signals, thus greatly alleviating depressive symptoms. Moreover, brain states that record physiological sensations also record psychological feelings. For example, with pain, the brain can't always distinguish between physical pain and mental suffering. For instance, patients with chronic conditions like back or leg pain are more prone to insecurity, often showing fear of loneliness and rejection. That after taking painkillers for a few weeks, their physical pain lessens and mental suffering significantly decreases. So, Methods that reduce physical pain are equally effective in alleviating mental suffering. If emotions are sensitive and easily swayed by physical activities, what about rational activities like thinking? Could they also be influenced by the body? Yes, let's start with an example from Google. Google doesn't assign desks by department. Instead, it mixes computer scientists, engineers, managers, and others together. This approach increases interaction between different departments, giving employees who rarely interact opportunities to exchange ideas, which sparks creativity and work inspiration. But meanwhile, this interactive atmosphere encourages employees to move more, which helps problem solving and even boosts productivity. Why is that? For people who frequently use their brains, prolonged sitting might be the worst state for thinking. Because constraining your body also restricts your thinking, while moving around the room or taking walks brings new ideas and creativity. Exercise activates brain areas supporting work, enhancing thinking ability, improving mood, reducing stress, and even aiding better communication. For instance, many think actors suffer from memorizing scripts all day, but good actors use their bodies as tools instead of rote memorization. When truly embodying their roles, they combine lines with physical actions. This not only speeds up memorization, but also makes it more durable. Um, so, why do actions aid memory? For example, an actor picks up a drink bottle, opens it, takes a sip, frowns, pours it down the sink while saying, "This drink seems spoiled." These actions and words flow naturally together. But if they said, "This tastes great," while pouring it out, that would be odd. Yeah, because their physical performance limits possible dialogue options. So body movements help remember lines better, while also boosting confidence and focus. A University of California study shows that to enhance efficiency and gain confidence, people need to send signals to their brains, sending them. One way to send these signals is through body movements. When people adopt open, expansive postures, like spreading arms or standing tall, it truly makes them feel powerful and improves their mental state because such postures increase testosterone levels in the brain and body. Testosterone, also known as androsterone, is a sex hormone. If athletes inject testosterone, it can rapidly enhance muscle mass and strength. So it's often used as a stimulant, and this hormone also affects the brain. Increased testosterone boosts confidence, focus, and more. For example, in his TV show, The Apprentice, President Trump often kept his legs spread apart when talking to contestants. In other TV interviews, especially when discussing new work developments, he generally adopted this posture too. Because such body postures convey confidence and dominance, additionally, physical activity also enhances children's thinking skills. For instance, at 9 months, crawling babies show better memory and comprehension than non-crawling peers. Because the more babies explore their environment, the more opportunities they get to practice memory and cognition, helping them navigate new situations. For school-age children, teachers and parents shouldn't restrict their activities. Research-backed, authoritative, activity increases children's understanding of the external world and aids thinking, crucial for brain development. For example, proper physical activity boosts children's focus, helping them study more attentively. Or having children act out stories they read improves reading comprehension, memory, and more. Therefore, body movements enhance thinking, memory, attention, and other cognitive abilities. Okay, from our earlier discussion, we've seen how physical activity greatly improves personal emotions and thinking. Actually, physical activities effects extend beyond individuals to significantly impact interpersonal relationships. Typically, people sense others' true intentions behind words through body language like facial expressions and movements. Sometimes people say things they don't mean to hide themselves, but body language often reveals their true thoughts. For instance, a poker player's small gesture, like casually tapping the cards, might reveal whether they have a good hand. Similarly, most people have a dominant hand. Using it feels more natural and simple. People tend to choose products on their dominant side and express positive things with that hand. American psychologist Daniel Casanto conducted a study. He analyzed speeches and gestures of all candidates in the final debates of the 2004 and 2008 U.S. presidential elections. In the 2004 election, both Kerry and Bush were right-handed. While in the 2008 election, both Obama and McCain were left-handed. So the results showed that for left-handed Obama and McCain, left-hand gestures correlated with strong positive statements about things they supported, while right-hand gestures related to negative statements about things they opposed. Though not explicit in their words, Kerry and Bush showed the opposite pattern. Therefore, accurately recognizing others' body language is crucial for social interactions. Additionally, people project others' behaviors onto past experiences to better understand and feel their emotions. This phenomenon is the empathy effect. For example, watching sad movies makes you cry even though it didn't happen to you. That's empathy for the characters. Scientists believe empathy occurs because of mirror neurons in the brain. Through mirror neurons, people mirror observed actions and emotions, gaining understanding of surrounding feelings. Autism patients can experience empathy due to damage or defects in the mirror neuron system. To autistic individuals, a smile isn't a friendly signal, but just a specific facial muscle movement. Thus, they can't understand meanings behind expressions, leading to social difficulties. Therefore, body language is crucial social information. People can observe others' facial expressions and body movements to guess their feelings and intentions and take appropriate actions. However, with technological advances, face-to-face communication opportunities are dwindling. Although virtual communication online saves time and travel costs, research shows physical distance can trigger feelings of psychological detachment. People may develop distrust due to distance, making it hard to reach consensus. Thus, when discussing the most sensitive and important topics, it's best to communicate face-to-face. Okay, let's summarize the main points of part 1. The link between body and mind isn't one way. They influence each other. Not only does brain activity affect physical actions, but physical activities also impact emotional experiences, thinking processes, and social interactions. So, how can people improve their mental lives through physical activities to enhance quality of life, work efficiency, and achieve a happier life? The author offers 3 practical solutions. First, exercise builds the strongest brain. Researchers at the University of Illinois designed cognitive tests to assess children's thinking, reasoning, and memory skills. The researchers divided children into 2 groups. One group walked briskly on treadmills for 20 minutes. The other group rested in chairs for 20 minutes. Results showed the exercise group performed better in cognitive tests and had smoother brain function post-workout. Tests on adults also indicate short aerobic exercise helps dopamine spread in the brain. Dopamine plays a key role in many brain functions. For instance, it controls movement sensitivity and boosts satisfaction and focus. Exercise activates brain areas supporting working memory, enhancing thinking, improving mood, reducing stress, and aiding better communication. Therefore, physically fit people are more likely to succeed at work. For the elderly, exercise also offers many benefits. Research shows mitochondria in the body produce energy for cells and muscles, but they often decline in older adults. However, samples from muscle fibers of active seniors show their mitochondrial decline isn't significant. Additionally, active seniors have much lower risks of dementia and age-related diseases than inactive peers. Therefore, exercise helps maintain brain vitality and health. Second, meditation enhances focus. Meditation is a body-centered practice that calms the mind, helping relieve anxiety, combat stress, and improve concentration. Recently, meditation has gained popularity, with figures like Al Gore and Hillary Clinton using it to manage, scattered thoughts and work stress. The core of meditation is practicing bodily awareness and present moment focus. In The Power of Now, Eckhart Tolle explains that unhappiness stems from inability to control thoughts. He believes 90% of thoughts are useless. Mind wandering, dwelling on past or future, which is the brain's default state. Though such thinking helps learn from experience and plan future actions. But this lack of present attention consumes more mental energy. Simply put, a scattered mind isn't happy. People are happiest and most fulfilled when focused. If MRI scans of experienced meditators show their wandering thought brain regions stay quiet even outside meditation, their brains automatically warn when mind wandering threatens focus, suppressing distraction. Thus, long-term meditation rewires the brain to make present focus the default, enhancing concentration. Third, natural environments restore mental energy. Experiments prove your environment significantly impacts thinking and reasoning abilities. For example, many students think actively privately, but become too nervous to speak clearly when called on by teachers. Because if your attention gets drawn to nervousness, it changes your thinking state. Neurons enter crisis mode, and the attention-focused neural regions stop communicating effectively with brain areas handling logic or analysis. But if you switch to a relaxed environment, like spending time in a garden, it helps restore mental energy. Why is that? Because focus is crucial for humans. But people can't stay focused forever. Allowing relaxed states actually improves work focus later, especially vital for those feeling down. For depressed individuals, nature walks boost mental energy more than for healthy people, improving mood. Cancer patients worried about their illness also feel more at ease after connecting with nature. Mental fatigue from depression or serious illness can also be eased through natural environments. Therefore, regular nature walks greatly aid mental recovery. Okay, let's summarize today's content. We've explored how the body affects the brain. Physical activity improves mood-based thinking and enhances social interactions. To better your mental life, move regularly, practice meditation, and breathe fresh air in nature, improving life quality, work efficiency, and happiness. Okay, now get your body moving. That concludes our interpretation of embodied cognition. Reading notes are below the audio. See you tomorrow.